I love that intro every single time. I know it's coming, and here I am yet again. Just inspired to do more episodes. Matt, where'd Matt go? Is that the feed? Oh no, it's the feed! Good thing he's socially distant. Thank you, Fiend. Hi, everybody, and welcome to a duet singing. One, twoing. All right, for Danny and Orkin and Oni and Birch. So we got duet singing, we got one, twoing, we got Pat McAfeeing. We got Lana through a tabling. It's all in this episode of the Brothers of Discussion. Yeah! We're going to talk everything from everyone's favorite punter, putting a kick in NXT. Finally, we're going to talk about why a musical number was a wrestling moment of the year. Or was it the most divisive moment of the year? If you go on Twitter for 5 minutes and look up the NXT fans, oh no. Of course, we're not going to end this show without an update on the Eric Bugenhagen. Yes, Bugenhagen. We're not calling him the Boogs Cruise. Update on the Bugenhagen watch. We're going to get you prepared for what is a 4-match Hell in a Cell card. Man, we're going to be in bed early on Sunday. And of course, we're going to have another edition of everybody's favorite segment, the Wednesday Night Wars. Matt, it's been a heck of a week. A little less heck, a little more nice of a week with Death by King Cake. Thank you, Oscar Blues Brewery, and hopefully you're in the Michigan area if you're listening to this, and you too can have some Death by King Cake beer with vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, cacao nibs. I don't know if it's nibs or nips. Orange peel and pecans. Matt, how are things? That's not the sound quality of Brothers of Discussion. That's just Matt under a feed, Matt. Hey,
no, I thought that would go over funnier. It wasn't funny at all.
That's okay. That was one of your rambling rabbit moments. That's okay.
Cake, you know what? The cake flavored things, as someone who used to have a brand management job and had to do research on things that had flavor.
Yeah.
That seems to be the thing that's like coming around. Like that's the trend.
I used to run WCW and I used to talk about Hulk Hogan. So I know a thing or two about booking wrestling. But Matt, go ahead, tell us about marketing. I can't wait to hear this.
So it really has nothing to do with it. It's what I'm noticing. Because I just got this ice cream at Target that was Jenny's something, but it was like
Jenny Craig.
It was a cake, huh?
Was it Jenny Craig?
No.
Was it like a diet ice cream?
No, it was not. This was the most fattening ice cream I've ever had. It was.
Wow. What was the butterfat content?
That's part of the problem. It had a cream cheese butter frosting swirl through it. So. Wow. Yeah, so wow. it was if you'd let me finish for a sec. No, it was a cake batter. It was a cake batter flavored ice cream, and Jenny something. I saw that it was out of Columbus because I think it's probably one of those smaller ice cream shops, and then they've just recently decided to start packaging it and selling it. But it was the best pint of ice cream I've ever had. Granted, like I said, I looked at the calories. It is the highest calorie count for the regular serving size of a pint of ice cream that I've ever seen. I mean, you normally will see it divided, into like 2 or 3 parts on the pint, and 300, 400 calories. This was like 700 calories for the one serving. And there were 3 of those servings, and I ate the whole thing in one sitting.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
That's right. Good old Matt.
Matt's gonna be swole. Yeah. Swole Matt. Well, I didn't quite do that this week. I did return to Cottage Inn Pizza and made a huge mistake ordering the Hawaiian chicken because they in the description promised a drizzle of Chipotle sauce. And it was a dunking of Chipotle sauce.
You got dunked on by Cottage Inn Pizza yet again.
Yep. And then I had a 2-handed tomahawk jam onto my toilet trying to get that out of my butt. That was a lot of sauce coming out.
Got a gin with the alley and Mike with the poop.
With the poop.
Get it, everybody? An alley poop.
Alley poop.
Like an alley oop.
I do actually wish that I hadn't destroyed my own toilet. I kind of wish I had taken it in an alley, to be honest.
Our viewers dropped. It got cut in half as I made the alley poop joke.
Well, we'll keep working on that one. We'll keep working on the alley poop humor. But yeah, this is a wrestling show. I'm excited to talk wrestling. This week did not disappoint. There's a lot of news. There's a lot of craziness. But Matt, before we get into it, I know you like to tell the beautiful people where they can find everything, Brothers of Discussion, and maybe a little more.
Well, I just realized what you're talking about, and I need to actually pull that up because I was not ready. So, everybody, what you want to do is go over to bodpodcast.com or brothersofdiscussion.com to check out everything we are doing. Blog. Now, I have to stop myself because I have videos and blogs that are unfinished, and we're dealing with some stuff at the home, so everything's kind of put on hold right now. I know I said I'm returning to the blogs, but it'll come back. With that being said, we are accepting resumes for anybody who would like to join as a blogger. So I'm happy to announce that. But what you'd have to do there is send your resume on over to admin@bodpodcast.com. But if you want to check out everything that we do have right now, I'm pulling it up here, and let's do it, Mike. Let's go into bodpodcast.com. Right now, there it is. Woo! Does everybody see that? Mike, can you see that?
Yes.
Now, what I don't want y'all to miss is our brand new shop page. Because what we have on there are all these beautiful looking t-shirts. I am so proud of all of you that came and wanted to brand out your wardrobe with the Brothers of Discussion, and of course our other podcast that covers the Detroit Red Wings or Red Wings Rant t-shirts. But you are now able to show off that you are a brother or sister of discussion. Of course, the Sister of Discussion t-shirt we've got going here now. It's at the very cheap price of $14.99. You can do it up any color you want. Look at that sucker. I'm a Sister of Discussion. It's beautiful. So go on over to bodpodcast.com, and like I showed you, we have that shop link right on the homepage. And of course, if you want to check out everything we're doing pro wrestling wise, we talked about Chris Jericho's legacy. Of course, there's our last couple episodes. Everywhere you want to find the Brothers of Discussion. So let's say you're a YouTube fan, you like subscribing to our channel, but you don't have time to finish watching the show. Maybe there's a big presidential debate. That's okay.
Yeah.
Because what you can do is head on over to bodpodcast.com and check out all of our links for all the other spots you can listen to that episode and finish it up. And of course, if you're a regular on bodpodcast.com, we've just got a one-stop shop. So you've got all those links for the podcast. You've got straight up podcasts there for you. You've got the YouTube page. So go on over to bodpodcast.com. All right. And then our Twitter and Instagram are on there too, at bodpodcast and at brothers_of_discussion. So if you are primarily looking to have everything Brothers of Discussion in one spot, it truly is in one location, bodpodcast.com. Go find it, everybody. It's easy to find. So check that out, everyone. Mike, I think that's it. I think that's normally that covers all the bases.
Got all the business out of the way.
Exactly. Yeah. If you were looking for anything, we told you, we put it all in one spot, so we're good to go now.
Well, Matt, let's start the show off with the countdown continues. 625 days since Eric Bugenhagen entered our lives and then disappeared.
You did it. You did it all wrong. Everybody, forget what Mike just said. There was a man. We have a video queued up. We play the video.
Video. All right, get the
video.
Now
been 625 days since this man made his debut. Thankfully, nobody was watching when you said that, Mike, but I like that you pointed out Elias just had a concert. But damn it all to hell if he wasn't missing one hell of an air guitarist and air drummer in his band, as well as a guy with some amazing pipes. Mike, 625 days since this guy made his debut on NXT, and this was the beauty of it.
From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, weighing in at 240 pounds, Eric Bugenhagen.
All right, that's short because that's all we can afford to do. But Eric Bugenhagen, who may be known as the Booge Cruise now, we're still asking, how long do we have to beg for Eric Bugenhagen to make his return? The last we saw of him was him just on those NXT shows where an audience wasn't allowed into the arena. They had Bugenhagen there at the Full Sail Arena. Had Bugenhagen there. In the stands or behind that plexiglass to get his fellow NXT superstars hyped up. I mean, the guy's doing the job, right? Like he's doing what he's supposed to get that. Who's ever watching him behind the scenes, you get excited because he's so excited. All the wrestlers in the ring are excited. The other wrestlers around him probably want to emulate his excitement. He's doing the job. Put him in the goddamn ring. He can't be that bad. Come on. Is he that bad? I don't know. We don't want to get into that. We love Eric Bugenhagen. Bring him back. All right, Mike. We have even more. We're gonna test the waters here. We're gonna see if this all gets shut down. And what I'm referring to is Mike. I think it was one of the most fun segments in pro wrestling history. I want to get into more of it, and we're going to show as much as we can. Hopefully we don't get shut down. But here, if you haven't seen it, it's our good friends Chris Jericho and MJF singing "Me and My Shadow." Here we go. Ready? Boom. Do you not hear anything?
Nope.
Oh.
We're just miming it.
All right. Let's reset. We're live, folks. We'll try this again.
Live, buddy.
Unless they already know to shut it down. All right. Everybody, again, I'm sorry. I'm glad you said something, Mike. I need that. All right, let's just roll it. Can you hear that, Mike?
We're closer than pages that stick in a book. We're closer than ripples that play in a brook. So wherever you'll find him, you'll find me just closer than a recliner thrown at Honey's forehead, guys, or me.
We're closer than snakes they slide through the grass. We're closer than Cody is to a jackass. Not a soul can bust this team in two. We stick together like glue. And when it's sleeping time,
That's when we rock.
we start to swing.
Swing to the sky.
Our clocks don't chime.
What a surprise.
They ring.
A ding ding, happy new year. And now to repeat what I said at the start. You'll need a large crowbar to break us apart. We're alone but far from blue. Before we can finish, we'll make the town roar. We'll hit all the late spots and then a few more.
We wind up at dailies and then the fourth floor.
Life is gonna be wee wow wee for my shadow and me.
All right, Mike. I think we got the gist. You were sending me messages of Jesus. How long is this segment gonna go? I will say I was just checking on Twitter to make sure everything was working, and our good friend. Let me. I'm sorry. I want to get the tag right because I know it's Venus Blue, but it's at Neon Ghost 41. She said it wasn't working, and I went, "Oh fuck, we did get shut down." But no, everything's working hunky dory as far as I can tell. But yeah, that was a long segment. Definitely, we could have cut back because I think everybody got the gist about 30 seconds in. But Mike, the face you're making, you're probably right there. You're thinking, what the fuck? What are we doing?
There's a lot of that segment.
Now,
but anyway,
segment, Mike.
yes,
I want to go first.
Yeah, please do.
So, now, I've been saying it for a year now, and we know it's been a year because there's been about 6 or 7 anniversaries for AEW in the last month. Whether or not it's their social media anniversary or the actual anniversary show. But we've been watching this for a year, and one of the things that has been just a topic of conversation for AEW is this is the sports entertainment answer on Wednesdays. This is the show that does sports entertainment. This, if there was ever, like, one of the things that Vince always got trashed for, and I don't think it was right, was that it was sometimes turning into a variety show. And, some people want to just see hardcore wrestling. Now, you and I, we're not those people. We don't want to see just straight up, like, and I'm going to speak for you. We're not UFC fans, right? Like, we don't tune in to Dana White's product. We don't watch boxing. But God damn it all, we don't love our pro wrestling. And Mike, if people want to yell at me, that's fine. But this is pro wrestling. It's sports entertainment. It is.
Well, what they used to preach was we're going to be the show that, we're going to bring professional wrestling back. That's why we're going to hire people like Arn Anderson. We're going to get Tully up in here. We're going to get Goldust up in here. You're going to learn some old school wrestling. But what we're learning is that, this is a show that promotes the King of Sloth style. They have guys dressed like dinosaurs. And for 5 magical moments, we saw 2 best buddies crooning a beautiful duet, actually pretty well produced musical number. In a day and age where people are watching Masked Singer and Who's That Singer, I gotta say I was pretty impressed with MJF's pipes on that one. Jericho is the one in a band, but I think you could make the case that if Jericho were to fall ill, MJF could easily step in and sing, I'm becoming Judas in my name.
My least favorite part about that entire segment, and I tweeted this out this morning, I said, I woke up, you check Twitter, and you see that people are still just out of their mind.
Grinding their rollers.
So angry that this segment exists.
Gnashing their teeth, yeah.
So I watched the video, 10 more times, which really, again, enforces the idea, this idea that we shouldn't have played that entire segment. But anyway, the thing that grinds my gears is that he is in a band, and he's not snapping his fingers to the beat. He's just like, oh, it's like Steve Martin in The Jerk, and he's just trying to find it. Right.
Yeah, he's got no rhythm. Yeah,
exactly. I will say one of the greatest comedies of all time is The Jerk. I just, what the heck's going on with Jericho, man? Are we learning now? He's feuded with Sebastian Bach this year as having never sung live, and man, was he angry about that. And now, Mike, we have proof that Chris Jericho can't even snap his fingers on the beat.
True.
Damn. My daughter.
Hashtag not my drum major. Go ahead, man.
My daughter, who's now learning how to dance, which is amazing, is clapping her hands to the beat. She's 14 months old, and she can do a better job than Chris Jericho. All right, well,
Well, your daughter has not taken any chair bumps yet, so give her a few of those, and then we'll see if she can still keep her beat.
Oh my God! Today she was doing a Jeff Hardy impression if I ever saw one.
Oh, did she slide that off the couch?
She has this little toy phone. It's you can talk to Minnie Mouse, and a little backstory. She never wants to talk to Minnie Mouse. She's too shy, so she just hands the phone over to me, and then I have to chit chat with Minnie, and it's cute. But anyway, she's still getting used to her feet, and she's walking. Actually, today she started running, but she was just walking behind me. And we don't know like how this happened, but we know the phone was back there. But she went like head over heel, like whoa! And we were just at first I went wow, like I did not react the way I was supposed to. I was like, holy mackerel, good job, baby girl, you're ready, you're taking bumps. But then she landed and she did the whole like baby thing, like all right, they're not totally reacting normally, so I'm going to start crying. So, then the crying started. But total Jeff Hardy moment today. It was maybe more of like a Mick Foley off of Hell in a Cell. That would have been a good transition into that conversation. But where were we? I really destroyed the conversation with bringing up my beautiful daughter. But yeah, we were talking about Chris Jericho not being able to snap his fingers to the beat.
Yeah, we can bring it back home. No, I'm happy that she can run now and take bumps. I'm very excited to see that in person. Maybe get her on Baby Botchamania and stuff like that. But yeah, Matt, I think the weirdest thing about this segment is I had a big goofy birthday smile for the full 5 minutes because I just was thoroughly entertained. And I think the main difference between, like you mentioned, WWE trying to be a variety hour and then what this was, and people saying, well, if they had dared to do this segment on WWE, oh, you AEW fans would have just been laughing at Vince. Oh, look at you, Mr. Variety Man. Where's the wrestling? But my argument is that this was Jericho and MJF. This wasn't Snooki hosting a pay-per-view. As much as I love Pee Wee Herman, I don't want to see him in the wrestling ring making fun of my wrestlers.
Right.
I want Pee Wee in the Playhouse, and I want the Fiend in the Firefly Funhouse. I don't know if I want him in the same spot. I'm terrified for Pee Wee. I don't want him to get killed by the Fiend. But I like this. I like the separation of powers. That's what I want. I don't need all my worlds to be a Venn diagram. I can keep them separate, and I prefer it that way. And WWE is not letting their stars be creative and do something on their own. What they're usually guilty of is, well, Real Housewives of New York's pretty popular. Let's get them on. That's what it feels like. It's a cash grab usually. That's why I always feel my intelligence is being insulted. But when I see this, I see these two guys like got together with a choreographer, with a vocal coach, got a production team to set up, kind of like a gala ballroom atmosphere. Set up not bad. Like I could see this like in a sitcom or like in a musical, like that kind of humor with the build up, the one-upsmanship with the stakes. And then ultimately they both get steaks that are too rare, and then they both have to call out to the waitress. It wasn't that bad. It was kind of like a dare I say a TNT drama moment, where it had comedy, it had dancing, and it had singing. It was just damn hilarious. And I think if you're grinding your molars about this WWE versus AEW thing, I just remember where it's coming from.
I would say too, like that really enforces the idea that they're both sports entertainment. But the tweet I sent out last night that kind of did well, and I had to like put the asterisk on there. I'm not trying to insult AEW, but I said they really do sports entertainment better than anybody. And what's funny is if they had come out and said, we are the answer to what you've always wanted sports entertainment to be, everybody would have laughed them out of the building. Like Cody would have nothing to stand on. Tony Khan, nothing to stand on. Like they had to come out and say, we are going to be a sport. We're going to be just where we're going to be all about the wins and losses. Like, this is going to be the real deal. This is going to be everything that you get out of UFC, except that they'll have a script attached to it. And it's not that in any way, because we see guys getting title shots that have no business getting title shots. But here's the thing, everyone. The complaint you can have is that they didn't do what they promised they would do. But it's an amazing product. Like, that's the thing. And I want to throw out Lawrence Johnson, who says he's not really into AEW, but he did have the message here, you know, what more can Jericho do in AEW? And I honestly, he did it. He basically brought out like a Dean Martin variety show level of skit and segment. And honestly, I don't know where they go from here. And I think, and to my point, I think that's what makes this whole idea so exciting, that they can now embrace like this. This is the thing that they need to be. Like, this is the thing where they're embracing the talent that they're building through their own system. I mean, how great is it that they still mention like Orange Cassidy in that segment to make sure that they're like, hey, don't forget, you know, who's never going to get over Orange Cassidy. So now they're both, that's what they have in common. They both hate Orange Cassidy. Just everything about that. Just, go ahead.
No, if this is what they meant by if we go to AEW and you get to express your creativity, then I think everybody should be flooding to AEW to just get a taste of what you're allowed to get away with on this show. So thank you to Tony Khan for saying, yeah, go ahead, Jericho, knock yourself out. And if this hasn't cemented Jericho as on your wrestling Mount Rushmore, at least maybe not for the greatest, you know, Shawn Michaels-y, AJ Styles-y wrestler of all time, but like a Mount Rushmore for the most entertaining wrestler, there's no question he's one of those top 4 guys. Oh my goodness.
And we got to point out too, Amy's here. Absolutely love the Jericho and MJF
Happy birthday,
segment.
Amy. Happy birthday.
You ruined it. I was going to ask you if you were ready, Mike, because we absolutely owe Amy this. Is a happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amy. Happy birthday to you. I didn't realize how hard that would be to do over a live stream.
I don't think it was that awful. I wasn't good, but it wasn't that awful.
Well, we were both like, I thought I was giving you the chance to catch up, and then I realized that you were trying
I was giving you a moment to slow down. Yeah. We really worked on that, huh?
You rushing or dragging?
But yeah, Amy loved the Jericho and MJF segment. And well, you should. Man, was it good. Here's my question for you, man. Hot tag. Are we getting
wait.
I tried to set it up. I tried to give you a moment.
It's a hot tag, everybody.
Are we getting a sequel?
Another segment like this?
Yeah.
Absolutely. There absolutely has to be another one of these. I think like this blew up on ESPN, Sports Illustrated. I mean, obviously all the pro wrestling bloggers and whatnot. I mean, our episode right now for YouTube is titled, you know, Me and My Shadow, because it really is that important. And we have a whole nother Wednesday Night Wars segment where we're going to talk about AEW versus NXT, but we couldn't not give it its own segment in the show. Like it's that important to pro wrestling.
I got one more hot tag before we move on. Man, hot tag.
Oh,
you're super.
Yeah, I want to show Amy's comment. Thank you, Amy, and you're the best. All right, Mike's got another hot tag.
Matt, you are nothing if not a 80-year-old man wrapped into a 33-year-old body. However old you are. 32? You 32 now?
Yeah, I'm 32.
All right, you old codger. If you were to guess what in the sequel, the next duet is going to be between Jericho and MJF? Or at least, what would you like it to be, Matt? Hot take.
Well, what do I want the song to be?
Yeah, I mean, don't hurt yourself. I just figure you know a lot of those crooning songs, and you always listen to Frank and Dean. And do you want like a Christmas themed, like something from White Christmas?
I mean,
if they sing "Sister, Sister," oh man, that'll bring the house down.
Oh my god! That was way better than me saying. I was going to steal what you said last night and say the Little Drummer Boy and have it set up as David Bowie and Bing, but. Yeah. Oh my God, Danny Kaye and Bing Crosby singing "Sister, Sister." Oh, we got to pull. Now I've got an assignment for the night. Now I've got to do a deep.
We got to get in MJF's DMs and see if we can pull his ear about doing this one. But yeah, if anybody has any good song choices, I'm looking at you, Amy. Something you want to hear MJF and Jericho do for their next duet, let us know. Yeah, we can kind of sizzle on down here. Just some lesser nuggets. By the way, I can't remember. Did you get both of them in there for Elias and Lana? Because we're keeping track of the Boogs Cruise. 625 days. He's just been missing. In that wake, we had a concert that could have been Eric Bugenhagen. It wasn't. It was a Jeff Hardy segment with Elias. But as far as other extensions of streaks, we get 5 straight weeks now of Lana getting mashed through a table. Oh, I can't wait for week number 6. But Matt, there's a long-standing tradition with WWE. Outside of being a variety show wannabe, they also really like pushing giant humans who don't know how to wrestle. I guess right now you could think of the Great Khali's. He's like in the Hall of Fame of giants who can't wrestle. There's Giant Gonzalez. There's Tamina Snuka on the women's side. Matt, there's a new guy entering the arena. He wants to be the new giant man who can't wrestle. His name is Jordan Omogbehan. You've known him from such hits as Raw Underground. He also cameoed as a ninja. And now he stands behind AJ Styles. Matt, I don't know if this is technically a hot take, because I'll give you a little bit of time here to kind of marinate and get a thought out, but it's really early in the game. Super early in the game. It's not even really fair to answer this or ask this of you, but they're giving them multiple opportunities, right? Letting them try a couple different outfits. Is this going to be another Khali situation, or if they're putting him as they are now with AJ Styles, is this a Kevin Nash situation?
I think right now when you look at it, he's the Diesel, and you've got our HBK equivalent of our generation. I think. I would say we're still in the HBK generation, maybe just the next generation of pro wrestling was. That's what AJ Styles is filling that role of. Just can't really miss on a match. So, especially with Undertaker matches. Ooh, Boneyard match. All right, quick shout out. I like what you're saying there, giving me all this wiggle room, because it's tough to say that anything's going to come out of this. I would say, this is the conversation. If he became the Great Khali, it would be so much more than I ever see happening for him in his career. I think they're trying the Kevin Nash route, the Diesel route. It's just not. It's not going to work. AJ Styles is better just wrestling and being a doof, and then just laying into that Southern kind of dummy. Even if he doesn't even know it, it's almost better when AJ's not. He's not in on the joke that he's AJ Styles, but all that being said, I think that would be an amazing turnout for, I'm going to call him Jordan, for him to become the Great Khali, because I don't see it getting that close. I mean, it's not to be mean.
The other thing to think about too is both those guys really had amazing careers. Kevin Nash, Magic Mike, obviously. But Great Khali being, a Punjab god. he can't even, he's a mega rock star when he's in India.
Right.
They worship the dude. And he couldn't wrestle a lick. I don't think there was any improvement from day one to the day he left WWE in a wrestling capacity. But he could still intimidate with that massive size, and you'd still have some sort of rooting interest. At the end, it got a little sarcastic, from the crowd, but that was like, the absolute valley of crowd quality when it was all about, me, and not the show. Yeah, when he had that vice grip and he like smushed Rey Mysterio's head. Oh, I still think about that moment sometimes. And he would be there to, be an incredible feat of strength for somebody else to pick him up and throw him out of a Royal Rumble or just pin him for a World Heavyweight title. So, I think those are pretty lofty peaks for Jordan to potentially hit. So I guess the last little bullet point on this is, if he's behind AJ Styles, somebody sees something in him. So hopefully it, works out for him.
And then, Mike, you've also got, I like this this note here. Are we putting a fork in Retribution? It really does feel that way. I've seen some rumors that we're going to see a Fiend match at Hell in a Cell between Dijakovic and the Fiend, which really would be, that would
there
be
goes the mystique. Oh, right. No.
But it really doesn't make any sense to build this up for, unless they're really like going back to like the old Brothers of Discussion episodes and where we mentioned how tone deaf it was to have like looters on WWE property, and then kind of have like this gray area of like, are we supposed to be rooting for them or are they evil?
Right.
Not really letting us get a good grip on what was really going on. And then they announced the leader, and now they're kind of like 0 for 2 since. And I don't know if they really like if this is really just like Ali, like this just isn't going to work out. But I do like the other question you put in there. Do we just give it a week? My thing is, if we can't be done, right? Because we would have not seen the Twitter post this week. I think from Dijakovic, but and Mace, but I said it, and I got some pushback. And we got some pushback in our live wrestling discussion group, which I updated the name this week. It is just live wrestling discussion group. I took out the BOD podcast part. I don't think that they can actually take another loss. They like in a row. Like they need to go on a very long winning streak, or else it really is game over. Because what are we doing? Then all we're doing is playing this long game of, all right, now you guys are a faction at the bottom. You got to work your way back up. And I don't think it's that big of it. Like when it comes to like a faction like this, that their story is we're going to change WWE. I think it's okay for that to kind of get pushed into some main event scenes. But for them to go down to the Hurt Business, which I absolutely love the Hurt Business. And the Hurt Business should be going over whoever they're going against. But that's where the decision to have Retribution go up against the Hurt Business is the wrong decision. Sorry, some burpees there. A couple of whiskeys not sitting well. But definitely the Fiend was not that next option. Like that wasn't the next thing on the list. Retribution was best served the way that they would do like the Bludgeon Brothers. Just have them destroy people that mean nothing to the roster, nothing to the main story for a while. I think part of the problem, and this is fair, is that because of COVID, they cut back on the roster a considerable amount. But they have 3 shows, Mike, and they could interfere in matches that have nothing to do with the Hurt Business or the Fiend, or just cut in when it makes more sense for them. When they're coming out there and putting themselves in a position where we're here, you can come get us, and then somebody comes to get them and they lose, that says a lot about what they want. Like, maybe it doesn't mean anything a week from now, right? But when you do it, what are we supposed to think when they put themselves in that position of like, all right, we're here, we're ready to fight, and now we're getting our asses beat. It's not a good look. It's honestly, Mike, it's
Thank you, Chris. Friend of the show. I think what Triple H always harps on is every week, we're basically doing live market testing when we put a product out there, and then we don't have fans in the arena, so we're basically relying almost entirely on social media reaction. When Retribution first, debuted, outside of the nameless gang entity that was destroying WWE property and breaking glass, and they came out and announced their names as Slapjack, Mace, and T-Bar, they were a laughingstock. So what they tried to do is double down and embrace the names. The characters embrace the names. They embrace the identities. Pointed out that we used to cheer for Booker T, X-Pac, other similarly designed names, and they didn't get as much flack as Mace and T-Bar and Slapjack. And then they tried to introduce Ali Mustafa as the leader of the group, and I don't think they're giving up on them, but it definitely kind of feels like they're just throwing stuff against the wall to see how we react. And when they came out and dominated with their names and tried to look intimidating, that was definitely the wrong way to go about it, because everyone was like, nobody's going to take a guy named Slapjack seriously. So now they're trying to go with Ali, and it kind of feels like what they're doing is backpedaling a little bit and trying to reset like the design and the direction of the characters. I think that's why they're not having them win, because they're not quite sure how they feel about this iteration, if it's quite won people over. But as far as people asking, is this group done already? Are they put a fork in them? And people, it felt like the consensus was a little bit of concern, what's going to happen to them now? I thought we were going to get more segments out of these guys. I think that's positive for their existence as a group. The word I didn't want to bring up, and it should bring just shudders up and down the spine of any fan of Dijakovic on the main roster, is the word sanity. Woo. We saw how that turned out for Alexander Wolf, Eric Young, and Killian Dane. The only survivor is Nikki Cross. Thank goodness she still has a job. But I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him devolve to that point, because I love Dijakovic so much, and I don't want him to get lost in the shuffle and be on the peripheral and then having to look for a job in 12 months. But yeah, they're doing a soft. It's like they're doing a soft third reboot on these guys, because they're just not quite sure how to gauge the audience reaction on them.
Well, it is something else to bring up, though. So I think that's the negative side of what was going on in WWE. But I love that my brain just hesitated. WWF? No, E. But I still say these were two of the strongest shows we've had. So did it suck for Retribution? What happened? Yes. But Raw and SmackDown, like A+. And granted, I think we just watched one of the greatest episodes of AEW, so I'm not comparing brands, but I think what we're seeing is a lot of these pro wrestlers that we're asking you to support, like our blog on BODpodcast.com that says how to watch pro wrestling, remove brand loyalty. If you're watching this for the superstars, there's so many amazing things to like. Like if you take Retribution and how much they kind of fell off the map this week with getting crunched as hard as they did. You do have the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. You've got the Hurt Business. Big E looks like he's ready for a monster push. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, even though this is getting kind of old, they're still tearing it up when those two are in the ring. Like when they're on TV, they are not boring. They bring the heat. They bring the main event feel. And then, of course, same thing with Roman Reigns. Anything Roman Reigns does right now, like the amount of time he was off TV seemed to be, when it came to Blue Oyster Cult and their need for cowbell, that was Roman Reigns' cowbell. It just was the right medicine. Shout out to anybody that understood that reference. All right. You gave me nothing on that. I'm so proud that came off the top of my head, and nothing for Mike. But Mike,
nope, didn't do a lot for me.
Mike, you ready to move on then? Should we do our
no?
Any thoughts on that round?
I'm just glad you brought that up. We know what a journey it can be going from Monday to Friday, and having 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, arguably 11, 12, I think 14 hours of original wrestling programming every week without a pay-per-view. I'm trying to remember to include now NXT UK is back, like the Cruiserweight show I think still exists, and then you got AEW Dark, whatever the AEW heel. We don't want our women on regular TV, so turn on YouTube show. There's that as well. It's a lot of programming, but it's nice when they're really hitting their stride, and it does feel like somebody hit Vince McMahon in the dick and said, "Hey, Jericho's actually got ratings that are catching up to you. You gonna do something about it?" And then he's like, "Well, we're gonna put the goddamn Fiend all over the show. Give him Alexa Bliss." And it just seems like somebody inspired them and motivated them, and they want to start throwing Elias into a musical concert, having Bob Lashley annihilate all of Retribution single-handedly. That's the last point I was going to bring up for that. They didn't do that thing where with giant like 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 matches where everybody kind of takes turns doing finishers. At the end of the match, Bobby Lashley just destroyed all 4 of them and got a pin. So I mean, they're like, this is our man. We're taking Bobby Lashley to the moon, and they're just riding that guy all the way to the top. This is the first time he's ever been like a power heel who wins in WWE. It's exciting stuff. We haven't even mentioned Ida, who did her goddamnedest to get Lana over. Who knew? Lana didn't 100% embarrass herself, and it was all thanks to Asuka. We didn't mention Bayley and Sasha killing it too. Sami Zayn doing some of the best work of his career. Kevin Owens doing his best to make Aleister Black relevant again. Just literally everything but the tag team division, which they still haven't figured out. But the singles wrestling has been off the charts. I think we're almost at our favorite segment, Matt. We're at 49 minutes. Is it time to get into the Wednesday Night Wars? And then we'll just do a little coup de grace at the end for the 4-match Hell in a Cell.
All right, I apologize for this. Let's jump into the Wednesday Night Wars. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Eventually, this will come off our screen. Mike, I think the way that we set this up every week, we do whichever show we think lost that week in regards to the battle between NXT and AEW, like who put on the. You know what? Whoever put on the better show, I'll say that. Whoever put on the better show, that's a better way to put it, gets to go last, or second. So we are going to jump in here with NXT because I think we're both in agreement that this is one of the better AEW shows. But funny thing is, NXT put on one of their better shows of the year too. You can't. With what AEW's thrown out there, it's tough to compete. I mean, we're talking one of the best Dynamite shows since, it came out a year ago. So it's just, you're not going to win this week. Nobody was. And that's where we jump in then with the Wednesday Night Wars. Number 3, NXT segment for hashtag WNW. If you guys want to add to the conversation of the Wednesday Night Wars, we do ask that you throw in the hashtag WNW during those shows. Let us know what your favorite segments are. Let us know right now, and we can always check in. But number 3, Mike, Drake Maverick and Killian Dane lose to Ever Rise after being disqualified for the chair shots. Mike, you were so enamored with what Drake Maverick was doing, you actually listed this as a win on accident in the notes. And it makes sense because this really was a win again for Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. This was Killian Dane's first time, like when you talk about like the buddy cop film that's being made here, where they're so reluctant to tag together, or at least one guy is. But now he got to see the fire in Drake Maverick. And now this is 3 weeks in a row, Mike, that this story has made it into my top 3 moments from NXT. Nowhere near the dishonorable mentions. Last week it was number 2. This week it's number 3. Any huge fans of the Brothers of Discussion can, of course, correct me if they think I'm wrong. But absolutely, number 3 was Drake Maverick and Killian Dane against Everrise. And getting to see Killian start to believe in this tag team. Because, I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, to see this storyline that we've seen told a million times, where you've got a couple of companions that are reluctant to join together. And again, at least one of the parties might be. It's so much fun to start seeing these steps where they've seen like enough of each other. And Amy, I see your message there. Don't worry about it. We got you covered, girl. You just listen to what Matt said, and you go YouTube, search these segments. Just go look up Drake Maverick and Killian Dane versus Everrise, because it was so choice. Mike, let me pull up our banner here. Number 3 segment of AEW for #WNW.
Now, I might get a little pushback on this one. This was a segment a lot of people. There's a lot of molar. You know, if you're up in an airplane, you know, you can.
If I'm reading your notes correctly, God damn you.
If you're in an airplane, you can see kind of the lights of the towns as you kind of float by. But it kind of felt like as you probably flew, you know, from the East Coast to the West Coast, you could hear the collective molars just being ground from, you know, all the way from the Carolinas, you know, all the way to Texas, all the way to Arizona to California. Here is AEW broadcast at the Pacific time zone. And it was because Kenny Omega squashed Sonny Kiss. Now, I'm putting this as moment number 3. It absolutely had to be on the list because it's doing something important. And I have a challenge for you on this one. It's not an easy challenge. You have to be pretty up to date on the goings-ons of the AEW roster as it kind of fluctuates. But this is important because we're resetting the table with Kenny Omega. He's getting away from prioritizing tag team wrestling. He's going to be a singles guy again. He's going to be the cleaner again. He's going to be a heel, and he's going to win. The way they push him, the way they treat him, it's that he's one of the greatest wrestlers on earth. And I think if you were to put him in a first-round match for a championship and have it be a competitive 20-minute bell-to-bell, it wouldn't tell that story. It would say that, wow, what a competition. Instead, what they're trying to do is treat this asset, treat Kenny Omega like the mega wrestling god that he can be. And he had to topple somebody that would make you a little bit upset. He had to topple somebody who is a babyface. And I think they basically picked even though it wasn't the initial choice, because it should have been Janela, I think they picked a pretty perfect person at this time. Somebody who, you know, people are like, wow, he's a young guy. Maybe if he gets a chance. And then he got a chance. And then, whoo, he ran into a buzzsaw. I know the Young Bucks like doing that Terminator 2. Dun, 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 dun. That's what it looked like. It looked like a Terminator crushing the, soft skull of a human at the beginning of Judgment Day. That's what it looked like. And it looks like Kenny's on a mission to fight Hangman Page probably in the finals. But Matt, that's my moment number 3. I think it reestablished Kenny. And my challenge to you, if you're upset with that one, what other babyface would you put in that sacrificial lamb role at this time? And it would still make you feel like you do for poor son.
And it would still make me feel that way?
Yeah, because I think we all like Sonny Kiss. We want him to succeed, but I think they wanted to use that emotion that we have for him, that support for him, that love for him, and it kind of helps boost that kind of anti-Kenny sentiment where you respect the hell out of him, but right now we're trying to make him a dominating, heel.
I think it's as easy as making this like Jungle Boy. Like you have a tiny little human. Like I think it made more sense to do that. And unless they have so little confidence in Sonny's ability to like get over, if they think he's like green in the ring, I guess that's an issue on its own. That's a whole nother thing to talk about. But I just don't like that when we can build up superstars that have no in-ring talent. Like we've seen it before, just because we're trying to like help, and we're trying to like tell these stories. So you get like Goldberg that goes over. I don't like that the person who gets the most pushback on social media is Sonny Kiss, because there's so many guys who are uncomfortable with seeing Sonny Kiss on their television screen. I don't think I would have made Sonny the casualty here, because like I posted how upset I was, and usually we just get likes, but this is what like the first time, we get comments where it's like, I'm fine with it. When normally it's like, haha, that was funny. Good one. Or poor Cody, something like that. But this was just so many people coming back and going, I don't give a shit about Sonny. And it's like, all right, we get it. You're uncomfortable, or you're a piece of garbage. So that's where, to me, I don't think I would have picked Sonny.
That crowd is going to be out there. I don't think you can book based on a niche crowd who's going to be vocal about you
absolutely can, because it's the same idea as like
you can book that way, but I wouldn't handcuff yourself to that. I would still say we're going to use the sentiments that people have for this guy and use it to prop up Kenny in this new direction that we want to take one of the faces of our company, who he's been here a year and he hasn't really done diddly.
Right. But just remember, I'm not saying Sonny should have won. I'm saying it shouldn't have been a 10-second squash, or you pick somebody else, because it just kind of ignites the flame that doesn't, especially now, like when we've got people that are already on edge politically. I just don't need more reason for them to go, see, I told you. And I just go, why can't we support Sonny? And then like this kind of thing just kind of, it makes it harder, in my opinion, to fight against that crowd that is so adamant that we're wasting our time. And you're on the same side as me in that regard. We both love Sonny Kiss, and it was one of those things where the same with MJF and Jericho singing. I think Sonny Kiss has been a breath of fresh air, where it's like, holy shit, I've never seen this before. This is fucking amazing. And now it was just kind of one of those things where we go, all right, Sonny has lost his TNT championship shots pretty handily. He's just completely gotten the floor taken out from underneath him in the AEW championship tournament. So now it's, where does Sonny fit? And it just kind of feels like the same way the fans feel about him, where they push him to the outside. So has the storyline. And I'm not a huge fan of it. I'll finish with that. You need to find a video of somebody going, shut up, Matthew, so that we can move on. We do have some comments, though. Amy threw out there Omega versus Sonny was a huge disappointment. And also, Amy, high five, boom, boom, boom. Sonny didn't deserve a squash. So take that, Mike. Now you're wrong, because it's Amy's birthday. So
Amy's
boom,
birthday
boom,
wins.
boom.
I'll have to adjust the list.
No, I
we can make it a dishonorable mention, just for your birthday.
I get what you're saying. Like somebody had to go down, but I wonder why Joey Janela wasn't.
The story. Well, I know you're watching both at the same time, so I think you got to juggle the commentary. But the story was that Janela encountered somebody who they were pretty sure had COVID, so he said that in everyone's best interest, he stayed away until his COVID test was done.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. I have them both on.
That's what Shivani
at the same time.
Yeah, that's what Shivani explained, that it was supposed to be Janela who was destroyed. So as a last second, let's bring in his tag team partner, and we're going to basically do the same story we were going to do with Janela. And nobody's crying crocodile tears for Janela if he goes down in 10 seconds. But Sonny Kiss, establishing that union with him, and I see where you're coming from. Like, if you can say that you're going to promote Sonny, but you actually got to do it at some point too, and not just have him in the ring with the best of AEW. Maybe give him one win, but it's not quite at that time, and he's facing guys at the in their prime. This is prime Cody. They talked about him adding like 17 pounds, and I'm going way past my time here. I feel like if you're watching the debates, it's the same thing. Matt, let's get into moment number 2 for NXT. What do you got for us?
So this time, you know how I usually hem and haw. I actually did the numbers ahead of time, and I'm pretty proud of myself. But number 2 is the opening match of the night, and it was the best match of the night, but not the best segment of the night. Again, Mike, we love pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is not just between the bells. But anyway, number 2, Kushida defeating Ciampa and Velveteen Dream. Mike, this pace was amazing. I missed almost the entire Wardlow and Jungle Boy match because I was like hooked on this. And, damn it all to hell, whatever the F is going on with Velveteen Dream. This is the fact. The man can go. And I hate so much that if the allegations are true, I hate so much that he would throw it away, this opportunity, because it would have been great for us to get to watch a guy who's so good in the ring. If it is true, fuck him. But anyway, Kushida gets the win, which should have been the result of this match. But again, the last 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes of this match were insane. I mean, it was just all of the tope suicidas and Kushida going back and forth, and where you thought, oh shit, he's going to go for the pin right now, or he's going to go after Ciampa, and then Velveteen's going to get healthy. No, he would just keep going after both of them and kicking the crap out of the two of them. And it just goes to this point of that this match's pace was just off the charts. It really was a whirlwind. It was something that I think is pretty rare for a triple threat to see from like start to finish, all 3 guys going at it. Well, that's what we got. A lot of the times we'll see like we've seen Shawn Michaels do a super kick right at the start of a triple threat and take somebody out for a good 5 minutes. So that wasn't what this was about. This was about trying to make this a dance, and it really paid off. And before we knew what we were going to get with MJF and Chris Jericho, I was sitting there going, holy crap, how do you beat NXT when this is the first match of the night? And, lo and behold, it did happen. But I love this match. I think if anybody's going to go back and just look for a match to watch, go back and watch this one. Amy, you said you missed NXT. You're looking for just a match. Watch this. If you're strapped for time, watch the last 5 minutes. And Mike.
So, Amy, what I was going to tell Amy is we had a talk yesterday about, if you missed NXT, what can you do? And there's like a delay. It's like 48 hours or a week. I think you can watch highlights. You can watch highlights on the network. There's like a 48-hour delay or so. But I'm bringing it up now because I thought I recorded it on Hulu, and it won't save NXT. It'll save AEW, but it would not save NXT. So I have to wait to watch it. So when I open up the NXT page on Hulu Live, it says I can watch last week's episode. So I think we're in a similar boat. So I think we gotta wait. But anywho, my moment number 2. Matt, you said if there's one match to watch, and it sounds like a really good one. But my God, Rey Fenix and Penta Zero, as Eddie Kingston was calling him.
You know what? I changed your numbers here as a joke. You're gonna hang on to that?
It's so tough. All right. Because I mean, like Jericho and MJF, that is like a list of Jericho moment. I'm keeping my list. Number 2 is Ray and is he Pentagon Jr.? Is he Penta El Zero? I don't know. I know that Eddie Kingston, when the knife edge chop to end all knife edge chops hit, you go, that's my best friend. That's my best friend. It was. I think the reason I love watching these guys is like when I think of the best lucha wrestler of all time, it's probably Rey Mysterio Jr. He was so goddamn fast and quick in WCW, and he's just aged wonderfully into his 40s, still doing it in WWE. I mean, he's lost like half a step, but that means he went from like 100 overall to a 99.5. But the way Ray and Pentagon wrestle each other, there is high flying, like very demanding, high skilled maneuvers that they use on each other. But the way they reset the table with just incredible violence, it's what sets them apart from other, people who do the same luchador wrestling style. I'm gonna think about that chop that poor Ray Phoenix had to eat. Probably every time I hear the words knife edge chop, like I have them synonymous with Roddy Strong when he made Daniel Bryan's capillaries explode in his chest. I think about Walter when he would blow up, basically everyone in the NXT UK roster. And now in that same little collage in my head, where I replay those slaps. Oh, and Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton had a really good one too. And I know you can put Ric Flair in there, but I never I feel like all of his are like a B plus, and the ones I'm thinking of, these are like A plus 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 plus. Oh, Matt's got the audio.
Yeah, we can listen to it one more time.
Yeah, one more time. Oh, my best friend!
You gotta get the Kingston in there. You gotta get it in there.
But yeah, they put on. If Meltzer gives it a 5, I give it a 15. Like it was a match we didn't deserve for the first round of this tournament. They put everything on the line. Like I said, luchador style. They still like the finish of this match. I don't even know quite how to describe the move they did. It was kind of a sunrise, but it was also kind of a roll-up pin. And it was also kind of a power bomb, and it was also kind of a pile driver. It's something you can only get with, probably a decade's worth of chemistry being together in the ring, and that kind of trust. So it had an incredible one-of-a-kind finish. It had like the kind of violence that if you like strong style wrestling, it incorporated that, and it had incredible just physical ability by these two guys. It was a fantastic match. As a wrestling fan, you're doing yourself a disservice by not watching it. If you don't like AEW, watch this match and tell me you still don't like AEW, because you get stuff like this not infrequently. So just I can't endorse the match enough. Matt, if you want a quick bullet point on this one before your dishonorable mention, please do, because it was that good.
Well, I mean, you've said it all. It was so much fun to watch, and it was something where even though my wife and I are trying to go through Fargo season 3 and then watch season 4, which, I mean, Chris Rock's on there. I can't be more excited to see what happens there. But it got all of my attention, is what I'm saying. So, yes, Matt gives away. That's why he has to rewatch both shows in the morning, because he's watching AEW and NXT simultaneously. And then, you got to get brownie points with the wife. That's number 1, ladies and gentlemen. So you pretend you're watching Fargo. But that match was something where I put in the headset. I was like, I'm not missing this. And, it didn't disappoint either.
And also, real quick, can we just get more Eddie Kingston? Put him on the commentary table, give him more promos, put him in more feuds, let him manage even more people.
This is so I was so close to finishing up another a part 2 of my renaissance of pro wrestling champions right now. Like, think about, we have Bayley, Asuka, Drew, and Roman. Mike, I'm sure you didn't read my blog, but we have that right now. And the like the idea that on AEW side, Moxley's fantastic. Mike, Eddie Kingston, for all the Moxley fans out there, he's gonna be so much better for this title than we could even begin to calculate right now. I mean, this is a guy that's going to bring eyes to himself. I mean, he commands your attention, and he's risen up so quickly through the AEW rankings because he should be champion. This guy he's almost perfect on the mic. And again, I bring up a couple of weeks ago seeing him shoot on a cookie, like a chocolate chip cookie, and it was beautiful right off the top of his head because this is a guy that knows the business. He knows how to talk, and it's so much more to this business than we give it credit for, and we give it 50% of the credit. But I mean, Mike, might be worth 52%, honestly. I have no problem saying that. But yeah, now we're going into a different direction. But I do
just a lot of credit for Eddie Kingston. I can't wait to see. I don't think that Moxley's had a real threat to his belt until now.
And David, I do see your comment. We're going to bring up your comment with Mike's number one on AEW, but let me bring up my dishonorable mention.
Yep. For NXT, here comes a dishonorable mention.
All right, yeah, Austin Theory quitting. Just loses to Bronson Reed kind of twice, and heads off in his SUV. I don't know what we do next. It's not like
we move on.
To honest, last week I said if he loses one more time, there's no coming back, and that this could honestly just be the end of Austin Theory with the WWE as a whole. So I mean it. I get to kind of hold on to that. I get to say, hey, I called it because now this week he basically said I'm done.
like Pac in AEW had like 2 matches, and he kind of quit because we haven't seen him. You can still buy a shirt on the AEW shop, but I still, man, did Pac quit? Is he coming back? Like I think about him all the time, but Austin Theory quitting is a terrible idea because I think it's a good move. Yeah, you should probably quit. Now everybody's dreams come true. Yeah.
Number one for NXT, Mike, our boys, all 4 of them, they did it. Oni and Danny and Lorcan and Birch.
And Birch?
I usually say Oni and Lorcan and Danny and Birch. Our new NXT champions. Guys, if you're friends of the show or fans of the show, you know what we're doing here. But Oni Lorcan and Danny Birch, NXT champions. So long ago, I'll explain. Here's the backstory. I fucked it up and said Oni and Lorcan. I don't know what. No, we were walking the streets, weren't we? Weren't we just like walking the streets after the NXT Worlds Collide? And I said Oni and Lorcan on accident, and now we've just kind of held on to that ever since.
I'm just determined to never learn who's who. It's kind of like Jimmy and Jay. It's Oni and Danny, Lorcan and Birch. They're
For me, it's not a Uso brother issue because Oni Lorcan's Twitter account is a hell of a banger. So I highly recommend you get to know Oni Lorcan through his Twitter account. But Mike, we've loved these guys. I mean, feuding with Mustache Mountain and obviously the Undisputed Era, these guys always just seemed like they were trying to build up the tag division. And we knew that they were in a tournament. They were never going to make it past the first round, but they were going to make somebody look like they were ready to be tag champions. And then we were just going to go, well, what the hell are we going to do with Lorcan and Birch now? But, it's just by circumstance, it appears, thanks to Pat McAfee, they get inserted into this tag championship match. And I don't know, what's going on there. We don't know if it's like we talked about earlier with Janela, if something maybe COVID related happened, and then they just kind of made this the story instead. But yeah, I mean, this is twofold, Mike. I will say, number one, our boys are champions, and I love Breezango, but nobody is more deserving than Lorcan and Birch. I mean that with all my heart. Everybody on the NXT roster, nobody's more deserving of a title reign than Lorcan and Birch. Twofold, because
overdue.
Pat McAfee proved that he can go in the ring. Again, let's make sure we put the asterisk on there. It was with Adam Cole. So Adam Cole is going to make me look like, a good pro wrestler. But, I mean, he did some shit on his own that was amazing. And, he didn't turn in his best promo last night. But it hopefully it reminded you, like, oh, shit, this guy can also run his mouth, for lack of a better phrase. Because he wants to get you going. He wants to make you angry. I think last night nerves might have gotten the best of him because he did have a crowd and he was using it's almost like his he forgot his dictionary at home, or it jumped out of his brain because he really dumbed things down with the crowd in front of him, because he was just like, I don't like you people. And before it felt like, hate poetry kind of thing, or and now it just kind of feels like he, all the words kind of just, as is happening to me right now, that he couldn't think of any better word than the most basic sense of any sort of noun, verb, or adjective. And that, if you're judging by last night's promo, certainly you were disappointed that Pat McAfee is in the main event. But, we assure you, we are fans of Pat McAfee after that run with Adam Cole and, of course, NXT TakeOver or something. But I'm excited for this. This was absolutely the number one segment. And to think that this amazing NXT show just happened to be on the same night as one of the best AEW Dynamites is almost a crime when NXT is concerned. But, Mike, unfortunately, we're going to kind of mix things up here as I'm building up AEW's amazing night, because we're going to jump backwards and go back to dishonorable mention.
In our what's in our war. Yeah, we always include the dishonorable mention, and you had to really nitpick, because this had 4 qualifying matches to see who's going to fight Jon Moxley eventually. It had a tag team fatal 4-way to figure out who's going to fight FTR. And then we have our moment number 1, of course, it's coming. So I got to say, the dishonorable mention was just, again, the women just take a backseat to the men on AEW. They figured out tag team wrestling, something WWE has. They don't even have tag teams at this point, let alone a division. They figured out how to build young guys. They figured out their singles division in AEW, but they just can't figure out how to do their women justice. They have Britt Baker, who is just hitting grand slams, with the World Series going on. Apologies to the boys on Fox, by the way. I don't know if you saw Dolph Ziggler and the boys are going to be on Fox Sports Net for the first time ever, so that they can accommodate World Series baseball on Friday. But anywho, Britt Baker her promo work's been hilarious. The role model coming out in a wheelchair. I love her whole gimmick, bringing her real life, profession as a dentist into it, with her lockjaw finisher, where she gets a sanitized glove to put her hand in your mouth and lock in the submission. But I don't know why the women basically got 1 segment out of that 2-hour show. I know we were doing a tournament. I know we were trying to figure out the future of the tag team division, but at some point, can we start building a feud for our women's champion? Somebody for her to fight with, like, a storyline instead of, the musical chairs that they've been doing now basically since the creation of the women's division title. The other thing too is with the dishonorable mentions, it feels like every week I have to mention something JR says, and he didn't let me down this week. Britt Baker received her sanitary glove to go and lock in the lockjaw. Excalibur and Shivani are going bananas. There she is. She's stuck into that lockjaw. Nobody kicks out of that lockjaw. And Shirley, digs the claws in there. Nobody kicks out of the lockjaw. And JR goes, well, it's basically a mandible claw, and she puts a rubber glove on. Thank you for breaking down the art form, JR. Really appreciate that.
Super excited. Yeah.
Way to sell your thing that you're paid to sell. But, that's okay, because there's something he didn't have to sell. It sold on its own. It was sold by the 2 stars. Matt, it's our moment number 1 of AEW this week. Maybe one of the top moments in wrestling history. Being hyperbolic is an accusation I will fight on this one. To this day, people will talk about Jericho's lists of 1,000, 1,000, was it 1,001 holds, 1,005? Where's my Venus Blue? Because I know she changed her name to accommodate that.
So yeah, it was 1,001, right?
Beautiful. Yeah. Because Malenko is 1,000. Jericho with the list of Jericho. His debuts. He had the big countdown for Y2J. And it just feeds into what an entertaining guy this is, who just understands how to get a gimmick over, as silly as it can be. He was out there singing. He's out there dancing. MJF was out there singing, dancing, doing the choreography. We talked about it earlier in the show, but this could go down as one of the most memorable things in the history of wrestling. It was hilarious. I want more of it. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there was, The Rock and Mankind, The Rock, This Is Your Life. There was Stone Cold visiting, Vince McMahon in a hospital and hitting him with a bedpan. That's where pee-pee goes. So I just, if you're going to get, really upset about something, this is not where I would, put my altar and dig my heels in. This was fun stuff. This was 2 guys just doing one-upsmanship, and, it's going to eventually lead to some sort of wrestling payoff in the end. So it's a slow build for a feud. It's a thing we're dying to see the women get that opportunity to show off their personalities. But these are 2 of the biggest personalities in wrestling right now. It's one of those beautiful times when the writing, the camera work, and the performances all came together. Everything hit home. There's not much more to say when it's that excellent. That just go out there, watch it, and if you're having a bad day, watch it again. Matt, an A++++ from Jericho and MJF.
Now, the comment we got from David a little while back is actually this is how long-winded you and I get with describing our moments from NXT and AEW, because this was almost 20 minutes ago. You were in number 2 for AEW. David said Chris Jericho sucks. Mike,
wow.
Can we maybe pull David off this? Like, David, what I want is, I want you to see the fun in it. Like, I think
Chris Jericho sucks.
I don't. I think the 2 of us, like, we know, like, we love Chris Jericho. The opinion that we have, I hope is shared by most of the Brothers of Discussion faithful, our faction. David, I hope you join the faction, because we want you to see, like, this really is the fun way to do pro wrestling, is to let Chris Jericho be Chris Jericho and have, good God, the greatest
Jericho,
sidekick.
He made a list of 1,001 holds, and half of them were arm bars. Randy Orton said, Y2J, what exactly are you saving us from? Your boring personality, for one. Your supercuts haircut, for 2. I just, you made the list of Jericho. You just made the list. It's iconic. I don't know what else to tell you. If you don't like him, I can't. I don't know if I'm working with somebody in the realm of logic. I gotta hear who you would prefer. Like, who gives a better promo than Jericho to kind of, maybe that's where he's coming from. He prefers that style. Because I can rattle those quotes off from Jericho, and they're years ago. Some of them decades ago. So your criteria must be different for wrestlers than mine is.
But yeah, no, like, Dave, what we want is, we want to go back and forth, right? You might be gone, but if you could tune in, or you catch the rest of the show some other time, like I said, I said we were going to catch up with your comment at some point, but I want to know why, because maybe we can help fix it. I know that sounds super conceited, like,
it sure does.
I'll fix your wrestling problem, but
maybe we need to reassess. Maybe we need to reassess, Matt.
I mean, here's the thing, Mike. We have a blog. So I'm going to say I have that blog because I feel like I know that my opinion can help people out in some way. So I will say there's still an aspect. See, now that's where the belief in the blog doesn't work, where you question it. And I tell people to get rid of brand loyalty. Look at what Chris Jericho's doing. Honestly, how far off are we? We're not far off.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk to Dave and
I'm
kind of
challenging you. Come on, we both agree, and that's the opinion we're delivering on bodpodcast.com. Darn it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to hear what the criteria is, who you would have above Jericho. I don't think there are many people above him, so I guess I would want to see how strongly Dave prioritizes mic work. Because if you don't like Jericho, I don't know what to tell you. There aren't that many people who I think are objectively better. So we'd have to kind of figure that out and, kind of work from there. But Matt, I think that was the Wednesday Night Wars. I think we got just enough time for a quick shot here for Hell in a Cell, which WWE is also.
Jesus, I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Real quick, we'd have to point out, Amy was always a fan of Pat McAfee. So I told her that I'd throw that out there because she said, I've always liked him. At the start, I did not. So I just want to point out, Amy has been trying to get us on that side. So, but you're right, Mike. Let's keep rolling here. We've got more to discuss.
We're almost out of here. We're gonna blitz through this because one of the matches is Jeff Hardy versus Elias. The quicker we're done with that feud, the better, and Elias can move on to feuding with Eric Bugenhagen. Matt, your thoughts?
On the Eric Bugenhagen comment?
Yes.
I kind of missed it. But I do think Elias should win this one. I don't...
What were you doing that you missed the comment?
We got a question on the... David responded to us. So
okay. What did he say?
That.
Yeah,
he said he thinks that everybody must hurt. In regards to Chris Jericho, I think. Let me throw this up here. So I'll confess, David, I might be missing the point on this one. And of course, what am I doing? I'm running a podcast and I have my hand in front of my face. But I'm unsure what to do with that comment. Do you think Chris Jericho wants everybody to hurt? Because I think he's just a fun guy. I think he is just looking to have a good time. I don't know, but to jump back on Jeff Hardy and Elias, Mike, I've got a lot of stuff up on the screen, so I apologize that you made a Bugenhagen joke and I missed it. But I do think Elias should win this one. But
I feel a lot like Eric Bugenhagen right now. I feel like a day in the life of Eric Bugenhagen. What was that, Eric? I have a lot going on right now, and I got the New Day, I got Asuka, I got Alexa.
All right.
Damn it, Bailey! Stop fighting with Matt. Can you just once say shut up, Matt? All right.
I love that it mutes us both too. So.
Speaking of Bailey, she's gonna fight her best friend in a Hell in a Cell. Matt, hot take.
Go for it, hot tag. I gotta give you access to that so that you can click on it.
What are the odds that Bailey and Sasha reenact the classic moment between Mankind and The Undertaker? Give me some odds.
I hope 1-1, right? Like
where Bailey sticks her tongue through a hole in her lip because her tooth. Yeah. And she has a tooth hanging out of her nostril.
No, I think this has right. This is more likely to recreate some of we had like Charlotte and Sasha in Hell in a Cell. I want to just see. I want to see that these two can't escape each other. Like that original idea of Hell in a Cell, it wasn't supposed to be somebody needs to get thrown off the roof of this thing. It was nobody can get in and nobody can get out. So let's just have these two have a match where there's no interference. There's no, I'm not expecting interference, but, and of course, I say that, and what do we get all the time is, people crashing these Hell in a Cell matches. But these two should just be able to have like a good match inside this thing with maybe a couple of times getting thrown at the cell. We know these two are amazing, but, to answer your question, it would be fun to see one of them go flying off the roof. But I mean, we got to go Sasha, right?
Taking the bump?
Oh, taking the win? Taking the title?
Oh, the win?
Yeah, she's walking out with a new belt.
I'm going to say, yeah, Sasha wins. If only because I think Bayley has the booty to take a bounce and a bump. So I don't think that Bayley, did I say that right? Bayley booty can take the bounce. So Sasha's going to win because Bayley booty take the bounce.
Oh, so she's going flying off the roof and then they're going to get the pin?
Yeah.
Okay. Or Sasha.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have to throw out there. David's back, wants to let us know Jeff Hardy's beating Elias. I agree. I just think that Elias should win because he never wins. So I'll throw that out there. Mike, we've got WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton going at it. Obviously, everybody knows who I want to win here.
Randy.
Drew,
probably. Yeah.
If Randy was going to win the title to kick up the count, the title count for him, I think it would have already happened, and this would have been an opportunity for Drew to get it back, and there could have been some cheating. At this point, I just want it to end. We did the whole WWE draft. The rosters are reset. Let's get Drew some new opponents, and Drew can just hold on to the title forever.
Matt, is there a certainty that the Fiend will show up in this match?
I guess because he doesn't have anything on the list, right? And he made a hell of a statement last year's Hell in a Cell with sledgehammers and getting hit with a toolbox. So
I mean, his schedule is wide open. He's got nothing going on. Yeah, he might go to NXT.
Yeah, I think the way that you book it is you have Alexa Bliss pop up first, and Drew's going to be confused, or maybe Randy. But shit. Are we still waiting for the Fiend redemption against Randy, or did he already take out Randy? I can't remember.
No, I don't think he's feuded with Randy.
Right. So that's okay. So that's where the fear.
And you're referencing the Revenge Tour, the Bray Wyatt Revenge Tour.
Yes, that he should have only been doing, but so that doesn't necessarily mean Randy needs to win the title, I guess, but it would be more of a target for him, I think, is Randy Orton than Drew McIntyre. Considering Randy Orton burned down his Bayou hangout, I think he has more more of a burned down bridge that needs to be built back up and cross so that you can punch him right in the.
Yeah, the only thing getting in the way of our prognostication here of I think Drew's gonna win too, Dave. I think you're right on the money. The only thing is, Dave, let us know if you think the Fiend is gonna be showing up to kind of propel a new feud for either of these guys. Oh no! Is that when Charlotte went down, Amy?
Well, the main event was that was the crazy Fiend and Seth Rollins, right?
Oh,
or am I wrong? Amy, you correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
No, because 2018 was Becky and Charlotte.
Okay. Well, she's our woman in the field for everything Charlotte related. That's her boo. And hopefully we've been talking. Hopefully Charlotte gets that money from that crazy booking agent that who works for CC Sabathia. I just I think the Fiend's going to be there. Maybe try and reset a feud for either of these two gentlemen. Then it's not that I need it to end. I mean, I know we got Survivor Series around the corner. We'll kind of see where that goes. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's feeling it too. The only other thing that I might want to see is if Alexa shows up with the Fiend for that match, yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite duo. I love it right now.
So yeah, Amy threw out there. She did correct us. No, not Charlotte. It was Fiend versus Rollins. But I love the Fiend, and now Bliss by his side. And honestly, it really is one of the juiciest things. And if you're going to borrow from anything, and I use borrow, like I mean that because every story kind of has some sort of basis somewhere else. Like But if you're going to borrow from anybody in comic book history, you might as well borrow from the Joker and then throw in Harley Quinn because it's going to be money. And I don't know if anybody has taken the time to go through and maybe an omnibus of Batman comics or something of in that realm, but. It gets pretty crazy if you just go back in the last decade and take a look at some of the Joker stories, which is where the Fiend's mask is the inspiration came from. So 100%. This was the right way to go with the Fiend. But to get back to Amy's point, last year's main event was it was confusing. Way too long. I mean, the match overall was just terrible, I think. I mean, they had a nice, easy way to set up Fiend matches, and they should have been squashes. And that's where I think, it was a year ago where I was like, nope, they fucked it all up. The great plan that they could have had down the drain. But, I think if we look at it now.
In the eternal words of Bill Murray, Matt, it was a gravy train with biscuit wheels.
Well, I think they've proved there was a way to fix it. I had enough time to get this guy delivered and have this guy made and relevant. So yeah, there's all that fun stuff. All right,
real quick too. Amy reminded me. WWE, another thing they're doing really well right now is letting women. And I hate using this word, but it's the right word, an escort, and it's not about sex. Like Alexa's just there because she wants to be the Fiend. Like Zelina Vega, she's an escort, but it's not about sex. Like she's just managing some dudes. She's just wheeling and dealing.
We all know what the escorts are and the managers are.
No, I'm just giving them credit for it's not about them kissing on their way to the ring, kissing on the way in the ring, after a win, stuff like that. So I guess the last thing here to touch base on, Matt, is the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, our Universal Champ, has decided that, if Jey Uso really wants a rematch, he's going to give Jey the match that he... You want a rematch? I'm going to kill you. That was basically the threat. So I'm excited to see how evil Roman can get in this match.
David, I appreciate you hanging around. You've got Jey beating Roman. I gotta say,
I would not take that to Vegas.
As much as I love saying to our viewers, I'm right there with you. I can't imagine any, like, the infinite versions of Earth where Roman Reigns is the champion right now. I don't think there's one version of it where he loses to Jey. And that maybe was a little harsh, but Roman is. This is something that I wrote an article on bodpodcast.com. You guys can check out. That I think this might be more like if there was anybody that could hold on to the title for more than a year, it's Roman Reigns. Like this could be something that could go on forever, and he's finally the character we've always wanted. I think. I don't see him losing it anytime soon, but again, I don't make a comment about him being one of the first people to hold it on for multiple years in a long time. Right. I don't make that comment lightly. I really think that this title has found its waist that it wants to hang on to.
Yeah. And Dave, if you get a moment, just kind of throw in there, because I kind of like to hear the creativity. Like, where would you put the the future of that story for Roman if he did lose it? Just kind of what would be the aftermath? Or, maybe what would it take from Jey to win? I would want to hear that.
And tell yourself you have 2 minutes.
Yeah, we got to start wrapping it up here, but I think Roman, they just like the way they found their rhythm with Bayley. Her promos have never been better in her entire career. Roman's same way. He just comes out and says, "I'm going to beat the crap out of you," and then he just it's a spoiler. And now he's got the mastermind behind him. He's got Paul Heyman behind him. This is I don't know about a gravy train with biscuit wheels, just like an angry Samoan train with I don't know. We can't even say Kevlar wheels anymore because now he's shirtless. Now when he's beating you up, you can see his abs, and before you could kind of laugh, go, "Ha ha, there's a pouch under there." But now there's abs. Now the one thing that we had some common ground with that made him maybe mortal. Now he really is just a chiseled god amongst us insects. He's pretty infallible at this point, man. He's at Pope level.
Well, I mean, yeah. Again, going back to that article I wrote, wouldn't have wrote it if I didn't think that this was like something that's going to last for a very long time. David, I do want to let you know, I see your last question on there. We're going to hit it up next week. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's just the Brothers of Discussion, David. But you can join us on the live wrestling discussion group. You can join us as the Brothers of Discussion on Facebook. You can find all the links to all of these different sources on bodpodcast.com or brothersofdiscussion.com. We have to wrap up. We've been going on way too long. It's almost been a 2-hour podcast, which, damn it all to hell. It was one of the best AEW Dynamite shows, and we're damning it all to hell because we've got it in a cell this Sunday. So we had to talk about that pay-per-view. Yeah. Of course, only 4 matches. Hey, point.
Yeah, Dave, hope you come say hi to, me, Mike. You got Matt. We got really good people, Amy's, Andre's, Chris's, all really excited to, meet new members. So yeah, excited to have you join the group.
And everybody else, thank you for tuning in. As always, we greatly appreciate it. And we will see everybody next Thursday. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.